Okay. We're starting to get some pretty cool results. Well, that's not a very cool result. But we're getting some pretty cool results from my little Bluetooth scanner app. So again, I've been basically trying to create this Bluetooth scanner app. The idea being of, can we use the ability to detect Bluetooth addresses, basically Bluetooth devices, as a way to see physical activity or activity within a physical location. So yesterday I set up my little script, and basically I have a server, one of my 2012 MacBook Pros. What I did is I set it up basically at my desk. I have it scan for Bluetooth addresses, and then I have it take a picture. So right now this picture is literally basically being taken at a wall, so you might see a couple of people come through. But one of my ideas with this whole picture thing is, what if you position this in such a way to be able to capture an entire room or an entire area, right? So basically you put the camera up so that it can detect, or so it can take a picture of the entire area, and then you're able to get how many Bluetooth devices are detected. And so you can start to kind of correlate, again, how active an area is, and you get the visual representation and you get the Bluetooth representation. If we go back and we scroll through, so basically this was taking a picture every minute, we can see it worked pretty well, right? You can actually see the pictures are getting darker and darker and darker until it is night. And then if we keep scrolling down, the pictures at some point will get lighter and lighter and lighter. Again, one of the issues is you have to think about how often you do something like take a picture. Taking a picture or doing the scan every minute means you get a lot of results. But if we take a look at it here, like when I was here yesterday, you can see 26 devices were found at 350 yesterday. 33 devices were found at 359, 25, 22, 25, 26. If we scroll up until it gets dark, we can see somebody's here. See, this is one of the interesting things. So somebody is here. I don't know if you can really see them there. All right. So somebody is here, and we see that 10 devices are found. So obviously there are now fewer devices. Goes down to 9, goes up to 12. If we keep scrolling down till it gets dark, we can now see at 9:20 at night, 5 were found, 4 were found, 5 were found. So this must be like printers, basically devices that are just here in the office space, that type of thing. And then if we start scrolling later and later and later till it gets lighter again, we'll start to see that number go up. So we have 5 here at 8:20, and then at 8:29 we can detect 8 devices. At almost 9 o'clock, 8:59, we can detect 15 devices, and so we can see the activity start to go up. And there we see a person sitting there at 21 devices detected at 9:45. One of the interesting things, though, again, one of the things you have to be thinking about once you get this information is it's not simply about getting the information, it's about being able to visualize the information, right? So one of the reasons I'm taking a picture is basically a visual representation. So one of the things that I did to try to visualize this a little bit better is I created this crappy little bar chart. Now, to be clear, I literally wrote this in 3 minutes, but I kind of think this gives you an idea of what the activity looks like, right? So what happens is I spit out the timestamp, and then for every Bluetooth device that's detected, there's one of these marks. So these up-down marks. So basically that gives us this little bar chart, right? So again, at about 3:44 yesterday, we can see about where the Bluetooth devices were, and then as we go later, we can see by 5:14, we can see there's fewer and fewer and fewer devices, and then if we scroll up, we can see at about 11:30, there's really few devices. And then if we keep scrolling, at some point like 8 o'clock, there we go, we start to see the devices increase again. Again, somewhere around here between 8:30 to 8:50, we start seeing more and more and more. Then we get to a stable level somewhere around 9 to 10. Then if we keep scrolling, what's interesting is then we see a pop, actually. 12:37 or whatever, we actually start to see more and more people come in, and then we have a scanner failure. It was actually still taking pictures. It was actually still taking pictures. For some reason, the I don't know, the Bluetooth scanner just part failed, but that's how it was. And then I came in and I fixed it. But this is one of the interesting things to be thinking about, right? Because, okay, so this is obvious. Not many people being here at 5 o'clock in the morning is obvious. But what's kind of interesting, again, with this kind of activity monitor deal, is we get more activity. We get more activity in that 9 to 10 o'clock time frame. But what's really interesting to me is just to see this pop basically right here somewhere around the noon, right? So, we've got about this level here going up through 11:30, but then as we can see, as we go into noon, we actually start to get more and more people coming in. And so this could be something that you could use. Again, just to understand how folks are actually using your area. So there you go. Again, that's kind of interesting. One of the other things you could be thinking about, again, if you want to be all hackery, not that you should be a hacker, but if you want to be all hackery, one of the things you could do with something like this is actually essentially spy on how well other businesses are doing. So let's say you wanted to compete with a restaurant or a cafe or another business. Imagine taking a Raspberry Pi 0, probably a W, suction cupping on a USB battery pack and shoving it into a planter, and then just have it collect all of this type of data more or less until the battery runs out. Again, depending on what you're doing, the battery may last for quite a while. And what that might be useful for is to show you how busy that place actually is. Is it actually busy? And again, one of the interesting things is you correlate it, right? So you put one into one of your competitors, you put another into a different competitor, you put another into a different competitor, and then it's not so much the information about this competitor, but then you can see how the different competitors are doing. This competitor might be doing better in the morning. This competitor might be doing better in the afternoon. This competitor might just be crap all the time. And then once you can kind of get that idea going on, then you can start to see why is this happening? Oh, if they're doing better in the morning, maybe they have a better sale, or they have better food in the morning. Whereas, again, if you're talking about a restaurant, maybe this competitor has a bar or has alcohol in the afternoon. And so you can start to try to understand, what these numbers actually mean. So what I'm going to work on for a couple hour or whatever today is I just want to actually try to get this into information that's a little easier to use. So right now, this is every minute. So simply what I want to do is simply squeeze this down into like hour time frames. So I want to see what it's like at 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. That's not as precise as this, right? This is precise down to the minute. But once you get precise down to the minute, again, that's one of the things to think about. Like sometimes very precise is actually very unuseful. So if we can get down to the hour, right? If I can just sit here and I have 24 lines, and I can just look at how busy the place is per hour, that might be a better way to go. So anyways, that is what I'm going to be working on. And so some things to think about. Again, to be clear, I am completely and utterly pulling this idea out of my buttocks. I am writing, this really, really crappy code right here, just because I kind of have this idea of like that, again, that whole thing of, I wonder if I can track people based off of X, Y, or Z. And so I'm sitting here and I'm playing, and I'm getting a lot of practice in arrays. So anyways, if you like this type of content, give a thumbs up. If you don't like this type of content, give a thumbs down. Because remember, in the social media world, it doesn't matter if the interaction is healthy, so long as it's an interaction. True story. Anyways, leave a comment, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you at the next video.